Hello everyone, thank you for joining again. So without too much introductions, today I'm gonna keep on working on this building. Uh, like there's a lot to do still, and I'm doing some stuff off stream. So I did add this. I didn't think I had this structure last time, yesterday. So I added this structure. So now there's like a small roof house, and you have a lot of these. It's just one room. It's basically for the people that are not well off, they cannot afford like to have a house. So this is like maybe one small room where they have the kitchen and a very small bathroom. So it's usually a roof unit that they rent, and then on top of it you have all the facilities. So now you technically go up from here. There's a staircase in here. Let me change the viewport mode so you can see better. So you go up from here and then you go up. Then you reach this top, you go up in the rain, of course, and then you reach this. So the way I've been doing this is without much planning and without much knowledge actually. So I'm learning as I'm doing. I'm not very good with Blender. I used to do with 3D Max, and I'm not very good with Max as well. So I just do what I enjoy doing. So with that being said, let's see. Like I think so. If you haven't joined these streams before, what I do is just like go around and create stuff, and I stream for 1-2 hours to whatever. So there isn't much expectations or planning yet from these streams. Maybe later on I'll be more specific, but for now this is what we do. The fight is becoming a bit annoying to work with, honestly. I'm not sure why. It's not a lot of polygons or geometry. We're talking around that's not it. Let me see. The whole thing is around 82,000 faces, 165 triangles, and 87,000 vertices, which isn't much. Usually we do like on this computer, like on Autodesk files, sometimes even on Blender. I do like 5 million, 6 million, 10 million polygons. I'm not sure why this is happening. It could be due to like maybe the instancing, maybe the small details. I'm not sure. Maybe there's some modifiers that are heavy to compute. Sometimes my FPS is dropping till like maybe 1 or 2 frames per second, which isn't ideal. Anyways, with that said, so the way I'm working on this is just by like just winging it. And one of the things that I do is I turn on the edge length and measurements here. And with that, like I can see that this is 155 for a roof room. That's too much. So now I can see the number here actually. So I can see it 137. That should be around 90 centimeters. So this is around 94 centimeters. So now 84, this is too little. So let me slide it by a bit. That's 1 meter and 15. Let me slide it a bit like this. So even a bit more. Yeah, 1 meter is fine for an entrance door. Let's see. Let's just add a small lintel. This is 230, that's fine. And now we can just let me delete these faces to make it hollow. I can also separate these so I can solidify them. So the way I would do that is maybe growing the selection a bit and maybe pressing C so I can paint my selection. So C, paint, right click. I can hide the measurements, I don't need them now. So this is where the roof slab is. Yeah, this is where the roof slab is. So this is where the ceiling ends. So this is what we need. Let's press P, selection. And now I can go control space to expand the selection. And then you can see here like there's a button that says back to previous. Then I go to modifier, solidify, not simple deform, solidify. And that should be like 15 centimeter maximum. And let me change the view just so I can see what I'm doing. So as you can see, Solidify is bending everything. So maybe if I say even thicknesses, yeah, that ends up behaving a bit better. You can see it here. And now what should we do is apply, then take these, delete these faces, press 2 and just fill the arcades. Then, since we're here, let's just finalize it. Let's Shift D to duplicate these faces, right click to keep it in place, P to separate them. So now we have two objects. If you go out of edit mode, you have this and you have this. So now if we just solidify this by maybe minus 0.05 centimeters, you already have a door frame. This could be something like dark wood. So this is not a building material, let's create a new material. Usually they like to paint their doors, like maybe dark brown, something like this. So let's say this is wooden wood. Let's just say the wood, maybe walnut wood. So we can use it in different places if we want to, I don't know. That depends on the painting process, what's gonna happen with the material. So it's not showing because this is the material preview. And now we can isolate this so we can just focus on this. I'm not gonna over detail it, even though I'm over detailing everything to be honest, but for this one, I'm just gonna first, let me make sure there's even thicknesses because there's a bit of bending. Let's apply the solidify. Then let's go to edge mode, add the loop cut here. Then what we should do is take these guys, maybe these guys, 1, 2, 3, extrude along normals by something, which should be maybe like 2 centimeters maximum. Yeah, that's fine. Make sure that we're aligned on all directions, that's great. Then we can say like this is where the door will close. This is like the door stopper. Then we can just, I don't know if I can Ctrl F and bridge faces, even though yesterday I found something like this, but I can't find it anywhere. So this is bridging. Okay, bridged. That's great. P, let me separate this. And then what should we do? We should pick these sides. So if you see you have all of this, just fill it. And then pick this side and fill it. Then I can pick this face and I'm gonna slide it a bit because nothing in real life is that close to anything. Slide this. These details will look very cool in close-ups. They're not gonna show a lot in like far away renders, but I'm gonna provide this on my Patreon. So for me, this is gonna be a far away render. Of course, I'm gonna do some close-up shots because I'm doing all of this. But eventually it would be cool if someone else is using this file. It's gonna be for free. You can check my Patreon. Everything's gonna be for free for the next couple of months. Only membership is $5 per month if you want to support what I'm doing, and that would be greatly appreciated. Later on, of course, we're gonna have some content that are for the tiers. We're not gonna just keep it for free for everything forever. Of course not. People that are paying should be rewarded for this and for the support. Anyway, so for now I applied the scale because of the bevel modifier looked weird. Then I'm gonna set the origin to geometry. Then the same thing here is origin to geometry. And then I'm gonna apply, add the bevel modifier again. 0.1 centimeter is too much. It's bigger than the door, I think. Maybe this is still too big. I'm not sure what's happening. So what's happening? Let me see. 0.001, which is not normal. I think this is something with the geometry. Let me check. But just isolate the door, press tab, and go to edit mode. I'm not sure what's happening here. I don't know. So press A and I try to merge by distance. I have no extra vertices, and you know what? Let's not waste our time. Let's just bevel it manually. It's still behaving very, very weird. Bevel. What could be the case? So if I go into the item, not in edit mode, in object mode, if you go into the item, you'll see the scale is reset, the rotation is reset, and the center is here. Save. I have no clue what's happening, to be honest. Then again, if I just bevel this, it's beveling normally. This edge is being a bit weird. Yeah. As you can see, there's the bevel here is detaching completely. Okay, so let's see what's wrong with this. So here there's nothing wrong, here there is nothing wrong. Sorry. What about this? Nothing. Nothing. So what's happening? Let's pick these faces. It could be the bridge, or it could be, before deleting anything, it could be the face orientations. Yeah, that's it. So the normals, when I did the bridge, or maybe when I did the filling, it just applied different normals for this. So what you do is you select your two faces and you press Alt N, and then you flip. Just that one face, Alt N, and you flip. Or you can select everything and recalculate outside, and it flips everything, it align everything. So now let me hide the face orientation and bevel. Yeah, now it's working perfectly. So the bevel should be maybe like 1 centimeters. Add a bit of segments, and that's it. That's this door. And then we have the frame. Let me hide this just for me to see better. So when you go up the stairs, you go directly into the room. And then here, let's check if everything is oriented properly. So let's test the second concept that I was talking about. So I pressed Alt N, recalculate outside, inside, outside. Okay, so oh, it's not about recalculation. These are not filled at this point. These are open. So just fill these faces. Yep. We can delete those ones, or we can keep them. That's fine. And let me remove the face orientation. Let me pick what I want to pick. So basically just the border edges. So 1, 2, 3. You want the silhouette or the contour, whatever. This, and then you can press Ctrl. It took the different path. So when you press Ctrl, it usually select with the shortest path. I'm pretty sure like there are different ways to do it. I'm still not very professional at it, but for me sometimes it just pick a path that I'm not that does not follow the topology that I want to select, so I end up redoing it myself anyway. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Again, 1, 2, so we have all of these, we need these guys. So we have the borders, we have the top, we have the edges, and now we can just bevel. The main concern for the bevel is this small edge in here. So let's do again a 1 centimeter bevel, and that's it. So this is the door. Of course there will be windows, so let's do the windows. They should be easy as well, so let's say let's bring them here, move them on the Z by maybe 1 meter, and then let's make another cut. Bro, 1 meter here, make another cut, also put it here, move it by like 90 centimeters. So now you have the horizontals. It's time to do the verticals. Maybe let's add one in here, let's bevel it, and with only one segment, and maybe let's add one in here. Let's bevel this, and that's it. Let's delete these and these faces, yeah. And let's Ctrl E, bridge edge loops. The same thing here. Ctrl E, bridge edge loops. And that's it. Like, it's an accumulation of small details that will give the whole thing. So first we do with the big blocking that we did with the first scene. I did that off stream. Like, this building is a part of a scene that will have, it will be like this. Maybe we'll have a dude sitting here, some generators. It's not gonna be showing the whole of it, but I'm interested of detailing more because I have different uses for it. So the use of that will dictate how much details you need to go into it. Not every piece of assets has to be this detailed. If I'm just doing it for the scene, I would be just happy by this. I would have stopped and moved on to something else. But because I'm sharing this asset on my Patreon, I'm just doing it from all the corners, because also I might be using this for something else, for a different project later on. So this is why I'm just like, I'm doing an asset, not just a scene based model, you know, not just an animation. Like, I'm just rotating maybe like this, then why the heck would I care about what's happening in here? And if you've seen like these Pixar memes where you see like, oh, I've seen this Pixar model and now I'm happy, like when you see like maybe the face of Buzz is maybe cut, or his mouth is cut from one side that the camera doesn't see, and everyone's commenting, oh, they don't know what they're doing, we're better. No, this is what 3D is. They're really good at what they do, and they're trying to get the feel, not to be technically correct from all edges. Yep. Let's add windows that are missing. So I know I have a missing window in here also. This part here. This part is missing as well. So let's go. First window here. Top view. Which one is it? It's the one in the middle. So Alt Z. So this is the first window. If you haven't seen how I did this window, I think it's the second stream or the first stream, I'm not sure. But it's a way where you just do the whole details of it, and then you can just reuse it wherever you want, especially for sliding windows. You can add details for it if you want to. But the cool thing about this is that it is still has its rotation. So if you move on the local, you would still slide exactly into the orientation you want. So G double X, and this is here. The file is super heavy for some reason. Let's see, let's add a slice here, go to edit mode, add a slice here just to specify the middle of this opening. So this is where the middle is. So now if I go back to my window, select the middle pieces and G on the double X, and align the middle of my frame with the middle of the window concrete if you want. Then in the front view, what I have to do is first move the whole thing on the Z axis. So that's it's 90 centimeter in height, the way we cropped it. I think the lower windows are bigger, this is why it doesn't fit perfectly. So go back to tab, select the vertices and G on the Z axis and move it downwards like this. The computer is dying. I think I need to Google what's happening. Let me see. How can I open this? If I open this, let me go to this PC. I'm checking how big is the file. This has anything to do with it. So this file is 4 megabytes. I don't know. I have no clue what's happening. So that's the first window. Then go back to top view. Duplicate the window. I think it's somewhere in here. No, it's not here. It's the one next to it. Let me try to change the profile. If I press Ctrl 1, Ctrl 1. I'm not sure. Maybe it's the streaming at the same time. I have no clue what's happening. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay. Let me rotate this by a bit. Move it, it's moving so heavily. Come on. So it doesn't fit 100%. I think I'm gonna move the walls to respect the window this time. Because I honestly don't want to waste time in measuring middles anymore. So this is this. Let me add a window here. Well, I think it's better to get this window because it's already oriented properly instead of like in the top view, these have like this side is like this and this side is more like this. So it's better to get the window that's already rotated and place it right underneath it. It makes much more sense than wasting time trying to figure out the orientation again. So this is where my window is. This top, yeah. So what I want to do is try to fill it inside. So move this on the Z axis. And move this on the X local. And when I say X local, it means pressing the X twice because the first one is world view and the second one is local view. And I think I'm gonna do this detail, like one big window, one small window, because maybe one of them is pivoting, it's a very small window. It could be sliding. I've seen like windows that are like this that can be 2 sliding leaves. It can be done. But maybe for visual aesthetics, we can just do some variations here. Press Z, go to solid view, press Alt Z for X-ray so you can see what's happening inside, and then just position this the way we want to. It's not even rotated properly. I'm not sure how much. I think I'm gonna do it by numbers. So this is -6. I'm gonna do -6.5. Let's see what. Yeah, that's better. Let's go to tab, G double X, and G double X. Now it doesn't matter if you have small gaps, because in reality they're gonna be gaps. They're gonna be walls that are not well constructed, windows that are not well built. They're gonna be always like a tolerance value of can varies from like 2 millimeters to a couple of centimeters. That happens in real life. And actually gives more realism and more aesthetic, more authentic feel to the look we're going for. Okay, so now that we're done with this, the second thing I was considering, I was thinking of making this a bit, this main door a bit bigger. So I'm gonna just test this theory. But if I push this up till here, because it's like the main entrance door, and even though like this is an old building, they usually still have some more emphasis on the main entrance door. So just fill whatever needs to be filled. I don't have a cut for it inside, which is interesting. I'm not sure why. So this face, I created it right now. It doesn't really work properly. So what I'm gonna do is extrude on the Z and then shift tab so I can snap to the exterior. Then I'm just gonna fill these two faces together. Then I'm gonna fill this to that. And of course we have here a vertex that is not attached to anything, but since this is architecture, it doesn't really matter. And maybe this overlaps a bit better. Let me see, just have a look. Yeah, this overlaps a bit better and it gives a bit more, this is a bigger door. So it makes a bit more sense. Now, going back to the details, I wanna pick this face. I wanna shift D, right click. I'm gonna separate it. I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna select this face that I created here. Then I'm gonna go to edit mode. It's gonna be either an interphone or a mailbox next to the main door. Okay, so it's these two that we don't need. And then we can just extrude this along the normal by some value. So this is easier than... it's moving very slow. So this is easier than just creating a box and trying to like realign it with the faces and everything. Like that's already solved all the orientations issues. I'm not sure where the file is lying. So I just want to check heights now. So going back to here, like my 0 is at 0. I picked the vertex here. This vertex here is at 0. Okay, so this means this is the floor level is at 0, and this is at 150, and this is at 2 meters. So this is very, very, very high for anything. Okay, so what's the height of this edge? This is 150. So 150, like normally if you want to press on something, it should be around 160, like in the middle of it. So this box has to be kind of in between this flat part and this is, I did like an edge in here. It could be like some a stone or something. So this thing has to go down by a bit. It has to go down faster also. It's too slow. Everything is moving too slow. Anyway, so this is now at 125 and this is at 2 meters. The 2 meters is still too high, so let's do this at maybe 180. This even, I think this is even too high. Okay, let's do it as like a mailbox. So this is 150 and this is maybe 110. Come on. Then let's just position it different. Then let's go to the top view. Pick it from the back. Just move it a bit to the front. I'm not gonna go in details of this right now. I'm still trying to figure out the vibes of things. In here, I still need to do like a shop. So there's gonna be like bags of chips. There are gonna be refrigerators. There are gonna be like desks. There are gonna be like maybe outside groceries, tomatoes, vegetables, fruits, whatever. Checking on different social media, see if there's something else. All right. Okay, I saved my web browser by mistake. Let me save this. All right, so another thing I wanted to do, usually like these houses on the roof, they use this terrace, which usually have like more technical stuff. So I'm gonna be adding maybe some antennas, some water tanks and stuff like this. But they usually also like just how these guys, let me hide this, are using the kitchen. So this is the kitchen if you unhide. For me, this is the living room, this is the kitchen, this is the bedroom. So they're using, I like to do this just to make sense of the building, because if I'm just, this is also, all of this is just being created on the move, but this is based on like an experience of maybe 15-18 years in architecture. So for me, like I can tell, like I can say like this is a kitchen, this might need an air conditioning, maybe not, it depends on the family. Like this is a living room, so we know like this needs of course air conditioning, this maybe goes to the shop below. I try to make sense of stuff. This could be like an old barber shop that's now closed, so this is, or maybe they still don't open at this time of the day. So this signage could be for them. So for anyone passing by the street, they can see it. This is, I was thinking either a wheel shop or a garage or like something for cars. So I can have something in here. So I like to make sense of things just to make it easier to create for these things. So what I was trying to say is, usually rooftop apartments hang their clothing outside, and they usually have like some big carpets or some big bed sheets that needs to be hanged outside. So they usually like have something like this, something big. And I think, I'm not sure where to do this. Like it feels like this side is over detailed with regards to this side. So I was thinking of maybe doing it here. I might do it here actually. Because I also need like these old antennas that no one is using them anymore, but they're still here, and no one, maybe like the owner of this house is too old now and they don't have the energy to go up and remove it, and it's just there. And yeah, so it's either the antenna here and the clothing in here, or vice versa. You know what? I think we can try. We don't have nothing to lose. So let's just pick this. this, and maybe this, and let's shift D, all of this upwards. Do I still have the line art on? So even if grease pencil is off, I don't know, I have a feeling that what's making this lag is the grease pencil object that I have. I'm not sure. So let me see. Should we do it in here? Let's scale this by some amount. That's maybe 2 times. Let's add another one. So I'm gonna, of course, redetail everything here, but just checking locations. Or should we do it in here? I might be inclined to do this actually. Because I feel like this is oversaturated by now. This is too much detail, and we still have to add details here and still have to add detail here. So yeah, I'm gonna go for this. Okay. So the things that we're gonna do, let me see. This is a profile. Let's make it 3 centimeters. Metal tube. This is a 3 centimeters metal tube. Alright, perfect. And this won't be even vertical, it's gonna be horizontal. And it could be like some sort of a starting of a steel structure that was intended to be here. But you know, all of these constructions are arbitrary, so they might have stopped doing this at some point, or I don't know. So let's have it here. Okay. The lag is not helping. Let me see if I hide some stuff. If I can get a bit more speed. I'm gonna hide this. I'm gonna hide the curtains. I'm gonna hide the AC compressors, all of them. Not the building, the AC compressors. Yeah. So let's push this on the Y till here. Let's remove this vertex and let's remove these vertices. And this is maybe too much extrusion. Yeah, I think they're killing my performance. I'm not sure. It isn't much geometry, but I don't know why it's becoming too slow. I don't know, it's still slow even without them, so I'd rather have them so I can understand what's happening. Let me hide this. So let's push this back here. Of course, we can do much more details in here about how these are connected and whatever, but this all depends on the usage of this file. So yeah, this is kind of weird, but we'll see. It goes like this. I didn't like this much protrusion, it's too much. So let's try to do something like this. Yeah, that's super weird. It's okay. Let's add another one here. In these types of building, adding like more details, more random stuff usually makes things looks better. Unlike like clean architecture where you have to be very careful for your lines and like where everything falls. For these things, like having these two not aligned and this line could be actually could make more sense. Like this offset is actually cool. So let me delete this for now. X delete, and then let me go to this piece here. So I'm gonna hide the solidify in the edit. I'm gonna hide the subdivision surface, and maybe we can turn on proportional editing and just could be bigger on the other side. Yep. Yeah, something like this. So this could be something like a carpet or a bed sheet. It could be something huge. Yeah. The file is killing me. And let's make it even bigger on the Z axis. So the way you see this thing is maybe from this side like this. If you see this building from this side, yeah, this is kind of cool. I actually like it. Let's make it even bigger. Let's go crazy. G. I don't think the proportion editing is doing anything at this point because yeah, this is better. G on the Z, and that's it. Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, let's turn on both of these guys. I don't think we need to do anything in terms of sculpting. Looks fine. It looks a bit like this, but I don't see if you're ever gonna see them together. Because it is this, in the end, it is this piece. Just make it bigger. I don't know if my mind will allow me to just let it go. So just for this, just to keep it happy, I'm just gonna do a little bit of tweaking here. Because I know, thank you very much. I know like every time I'm gonna look at this piece, I'm gonna be comparing, oh, it looks the same. Even like maybe a year from now, and like, why didn't I just push things around a little bit? So I'm gonna do it just for my sanity. Is the stream lagging, by the way? Because the Blender is lagging a lot. Okay. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. Working in architecture for years makes you appreciate these small 1 centimeters, 2 millimeters changes. Because they make a difference, by the way. Yeah, what are these colors? This is cool. I don't know. Alright, so there is a mistake here that needs to be fixed. You can do this in this mode. Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's just Blender. I'm not sure why. I was saying like even the faces is not that much. We're talking about maybe 70,000 faces. We usually can do 5-6 million without a glitch. It could be the amount of objects. I don't know. I'm not sure why. I have to look into it because it's killing my performance. Anyways. Yeah. So this is this. Maybe I need to add another one next to it. I'm not sure. Just keep it like this for now. Alright, so the next thing that I want to do is I want to add one of these old antennas. So let's Google it. Antennas. not these antennas, let's say the old ones. Yeah, like these ones. Like these are on every old building here, but nobody actually used them anymore. This guy. Oh. It's not opening. Let me see, maybe a different image would open. What's happening? Is it my internet connection? Yeah, it opened. Let me zoom in. So I'm talking about something like this, which isn't very complicated. I think what I should do, I'm gonna move this to the other screen. I think if this I'm gonna try to isolate everything and set this origin to this geometry, Shift S, set the cursor to the center, Shift A, mesh cylinder, and we can do maybe a radius of, I don't know, 1 centimeter. Let me push this downwards just to make sure. A height of 2 meters is fine. Maybe a bit too high. Maybe we can do 1.6. Move it upwards on the Z axis. I think I'm gonna copy this to another file. I'm just gonna do the proper positioning, and then I think I'm gonna move it to a different file, and I'm gonna copy paste it when I'm done. So for now, this looks a bit too thin. Let's bring back the dimensions. So let's do it maybe 0.4, and the height, let's go back to the 2 meters. For this, let's push it upwards. Yep. It's still too weak, so I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna attach it to the wall in here. So it's gonna be clamped to this wall. Yeah, that's better. Okay, then I'm gonna duplicate this. Need the solution. I feel like I'm battling with it. Not. What's happening? Like this is low poly. This is low poly. This is low poly. What's happening? I wish I know, like, if there is a way to, you know what? Let's hide these guys. Maybe these guys are the issue. I wish like there is a way to analyze the file. I'm pretty sure there is. I don't know about it, of course, but there is. So let's rotate this by 90 degrees. Move it up. I'm looking at my reference image just to make sure that it makes sense in all directions. Maybe we can also unsubdivide by 1 iteration, since we're worried about the performance. Let's put this here. Exclude from view layer. You know what? Exclude from view layer. Okay, we'll see. I just excluded the AC compressors from the view layers. I hope that this will solve it. Even though they're hidden, they're maybe being calculated. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's happening under the hood of Blender. Okay, seems better. It could be the case. No one knows. Okay, anyways. Let's Let's make sure that the cursor is on this object. Let's Shift A, mesh a cube, make it much smaller, like 10 centimeters. Then move it on the Y, then move it on the Z axis. Just this is gonna attach these two objects together. Scale it on the Z axis. Oh, finally, it's working fine. So it is the AC compressors, thankfully, and we should hide them from the view layer, not just from the viewport. I think they're still calculating. Maybe the line art, maybe the details. I'm not sure. Anyways, let's add some fake details here, just because nothing is just a box in this kind of stuff. So let's scale on the what's happening? Yeah, the proportion editing is still on. Blender and its shortcuts. Let's add one in here. Let's bevel it. Then let's Sparky. Spark. Let's extrude these along the normal. Offset even. Yeah, this is the first time I found this. All right, let's, what should we do? I'm pretty sure that this doesn't exist in real life. But it doesn't really matter. Okay, then let's duplicate, no, let's create a new cylinder. Let's make it maximum like 8 vertices, and the radius is fine, the depth is fine. Let's just rotate it here by 90 degrees. Position it properly on the X like this. It's 1 meter is too much, maybe like 60 centimeters is more than enough. Maybe even a smaller radius. How long have I been using Blender? Probably a year, but I've been doing 3D for probably like 15 years and 3ds Max. But I've moved to Blender for my personal job, my personal stuff. I still use 3D Max for my professional architecture renderings projects. Okay. And I'm still a beginner, by the way. I've seen a lot of people that use it really well, really good. Extrude along the normals, offset even. So just let me show you this. I'm trying to create the illusion of this thing, just for this to be clear. Okay. Right. I'm a bit clumsy in general in real life, so if I'm pressing weird stuff and I'm a bit not comfortable while talking while working, this is me. That's what happens in real life as well. So I'm gonna just create some details. So the picture that I'm looking at, these things are not straight, and this kind of stuff add a lot of realism to it. This is still too big. Let me just scale it, excluding the X maybe, or yeah, but it's not looking nice. So let's do something else. Let's pick this Q, linked faces, then pick this, and then also scaling this would be weird. You know what? I'm just gonna scale this. Scale, excluding the X, or maybe excluding the Y. Yeah, excluding the Y. How long have you been using it, and what do you want to use it for? I'm pretty sure I'm not that good, by the way. I think so. All right, I think for this we need an array modifier. We have approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 8. So let's say 6 for this side, and let's increase the offset. And then let's mirror this using this object, and I think it should be on the Y. So the illusion of details. Okay, it's looking good. The orientation is a bit weird. I don't know what's happening. Let me see. Top view. Isolated. Oh no, the building is rotated. The rotation is fine. Okay, so let me try to position it like this and add a bit more of these. Okay, then I'm gonna apply the array, I'm gonna apply the mirror, then I'm gonna go to vertices, X-ray mode, and we're gonna just make some variations with these. And I think a better way to do this is to add another view, go to the top view, remove T and N to remove whatever, and then just pick from here and move it here. So like this, just to make things a bit faster. Yeah, just adding randomness to this thing, because these are not like really hard tubes, metallic tubes. These are very soft. They bend with the wind, they bend with heat, they bend with cold. So, and it's nice to keep things messy in these type of buildings. And this is very important because that's like the first piece we're gonna see. It's just on the front facade of the building. My phone is ringing, I don't know. Let's ignore it. Alright. We don't need this anymore. Let's have a look at everything together. Remove this, object mode. Yeah, that looks good. So I'm gonna join all of this, Ctrl J. I'm gonna isolate it. Then we're gonna pick this face, Shift S, set the cursor to this. So the cursor, let me show you the cursor. So the cursor is here. Then we're gonna right click and set the origin to 3D cursor. So now, whenever we rotate or do anything, it's gonna be from this. And even it's gonna register here. So from rotating, you can see it's rotating here. So I can come back and reset the rotation. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to 0 and then I'm gonna rotate by a little bit, like this maybe. And even if I scale it because it's too big, I'm gonna first apply the scale, Ctrl A, apply the scale, then I'm gonna scale everything by maybe 10 centimeters, make it a little bit smaller. And you know what, instead of clamping it to the building and wasting time on this, that's not gonna show, let's just move this down. Yeah, that's looking good. That's looking good. Maybe it's too high. Let's make it a bit lower. Yeah, I'm not gonna add more details than this for this piece. Doesn't really matter. Okay, let's see it rendered. To get an idea, let's hide all the extras and the 3D cursor. Maybe also the origins. The origins are here. Alright, what's next? We've been streaming for 1 hour. Let's do 30 more minutes and we have to pick something. We still have the shop, this is gonna be a grocery shop. Let me unhide this. So this shop is closed. This is gonna be a car repair shop. I think this is a mechanic. We still have here these guys that are killing my file. So these guys still have like some wiring to do. We have the copper pipes, we have the electric wires, and then we have some tubing, some water tubing here. Also here, maybe this is like this. And we have some water tubing coming out from here, from the internal unit, because the condensation water has to be drained out. So this is one thing, this is one thing. I still wanna do, you know what, let me do something easier and bigger, and will help more the shape of things. Let me hide again the AC compressors, only the compressors. Again, I'm super clumsy. All right, so this is our land. You know, I'm gonna change the material because this is part of a bigger project. So this fits within the land of the bigger scene that I'm working on. So this is our land. And usually in these types of building, there are extra water tanks because water is very is a very limited resource in these kind of countries and buildings and neighborhoods. Just looking at this, yeah. So they usually have extra water storages, and other than the one on the roof. So they have both. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add these metallic water tanks here. Maybe I'm gonna do 2. That will add a bit to the whole feel. Also, I'm gonna do like some sort of fence here. So maybe some metallic fence and maybe some barbed wires here. That will also look cool. It will match with the aesthetics in here. So it will give it a bit more of cohesion, harmony, whatever. So let's do first the water tank, since I said I want to do this first. It's looking good, man. Shift A, mesh, cube. Bring it here. Scale this. Should we, since we did this once, should we add another one? Because they have different antennas, different. And what about if we put this actually outside instead of inside? I'm sorry, sometimes when I'm working on this stuff, like most of this building has been done like this, like what if, we're asking what if and what if questions, and then trying to see what's gonna happen, like working on something, then cutting it midway and trying something else. Yeah, I actually don't mind this. It's maybe too small, let's make it a bit big. And maybe let's rotate it on the Z axis. Rotate on the Z axis by something like this. Yeah. For the time being, and you know what? Let's just finish it. Even though I did start with the water tank, it's fine. Let's just finish this. So what I want to do is I want to add a clamp. So what I'm doing here is creating the geometry of the clamp on the pole, then shift B to bevel, no, control B to bevel, yeah. Then I'm gonna shift D, right click B to separate the selection. I'm gonna try to click it, scale it. Let's first set the geometry, origin to geometry, yeah. If they're both the same antennas or for TV, I think they should be facing. Yeah, you're right. I was thinking about this because yeah, but I was also thinking about the aesthetics as well. So I'm not sure if they're gonna look nice. But you're not 100% right. You know what? I'm gonna try it just in a second. These are the kind of things that, you know, I'm gonna be thinking about while sleeping. Okay, so let's just do the clamp and then we're gonna do the antennas. So let's delete half of it. X, delete these faces. Then I'm gonna move this to be with the wall. And I'm gonna be moving this. Let's go to a different view so we can see better. The X-ray mode isn't doing anything. So let's see. If they are facing the same direction, what will happen with the aesthetics? And sometimes they move by the wind a little bit. So I'm gonna like generally the same direction, but a little bit different. Yeah, that's fine. Let's keep it like this. Let's keep it more authentic. All right, let's finish the clamp. So we need these two edges. This and this. We need to extrude along. Extrude. They should be extruding in different directions. So let's go to the top view. They should be extruding along the normals, which we don't have in edge mode, which is fine. Let's just extrude each face by itself. It's fine. So this is the first face. This is the second face. Then let's just add a solidify to the outside. 2 centimeters, something like this. Yeah. Scale this down by a little bit and push this backward a bit, yeah. And of course, this needs to be much bigger and this needs to be much bigger. Okay, just for now, let's do this. Let's do it twice. Okay, let's go back to the water tanks. So the water tanks, this is measured by liters. So usually they are around 2000 liters. 2000 liters meaning 2 cubic meters, yeah, 2 cubic meters, which is around 1 by 1, yeah, okay. So this should be around approximately 1.5 by 1.5. So around 180 centimeters on each side and 1 meter in height. Or I care about this stuff because the proportions matter in these things. Like the whole thing is about the proportions. If this looks a bit good, it's because like everything is articulated in proportions. Okay, there's a mistake in here. Speaking about proportions. Yeah, just a second. GX. Yeah, just a little bit. All right. So what I was trying to say. So 180 by 180. That's that's around 3,000. Okay, 300 cubic meters, which is around 15,000 liters. All right. So let's do this. So this is around 180 by 180 by 1 meter, and of course then we can do this much smaller, so maybe this is 1 meter, so 1 by 1 by 2, so this is 10,000 liters of water. All right, which looks actually realistic in proportions of the things that I see in here. So this thing usually have some sort of a supporting legs. This is made of metal, galvanized metal. So let's start. It's not something that detailed. It's just a water tank. So usually it has a point to fill it. So the first thing is just an opening somewhere in here, like this. Let's extrude it up a bit, up on the z-axis a bit. Let's insert it by a little bit. So the insert behaved weirdly. Just let me apply the scale. Insert, I think the insert has, yeah, it's working fine now. And then we can delete this face, or maybe we can keep it. Let's delete it. Let's delete this face. So it has something like this. Then we can pick these guys. Thank you very much for subscribing. Hope to see you again. Okay, so shift D on the z-axis. Let me merge these at center. And then let's delete this vertex. We have this now. Let me scale this by maybe a little bit and extrude it. That's the cover. Wait. Okay. So this is the cover. We can make it a bit bigger just to emphasize it a bit more. Then what we can do is we can take this bottom part, we can separate it, we can remove these faces, these edges actually, not faces. And now let's make two of them. Scale on the Y. I'm pretty sure there's a trick to do this a bit more accurately. I have to look into it. Scale on the X. Alright, perfect. Then let's pick this, and this. Let's insert by something like this, a bit more. Then we can pick these. So they usually have them like an L-shaped form, not like square. So this is why I'm doing this. And this, then we can extrude these and take them to the 0, which seems too high. And then we can just pick the vertices, drag the whole thing. Drag the whole thing down. Yeah, let's join them, or no, let's join them, it's fine. Ctrl J. I was worried about the detail on the edge that has a little bit of slant, but it's not gonna show anyway. I'm talking about this. So one of like the legs here, they have this. And I was thinking if maybe we should do that. But does it really matter? No. Am I gonna do it later? Yes, off stream. I'm not gonna bore you with this. Why? Because, yeah, I don't know why. That's how things goes. Alright, so let's move this here. Let's rotate it a little bit. So these usually have Okay. So these usually have piping going from them and up somewhere. Depends on where is the water tank. Sometimes there are water tanks inside the houses. So they could be like fueling some water tanks inside the houses. Sometimes they can go up to the roof and then back to the houses. So shift D. Man. Or maybe it's trying to delete. Or maybe is it no. Duplicated this maybe a million times. Okay. So it's D right click. That's the thing that always happened with me in Blender. Even though like you see me like clicking all of these buttons, I'm moving fast. Sometimes my brain just freezes on some of the details and I don't know what I'm doing. Like just right now, I just forgot a shortcut. So this is not in Arabic, this is not in Arabic. Galvanized, I think this is how it's written, steel. And galvanized steel has some pattern to it, but it is mostly light gray for now. Adding water pipes in here will make it look super cool. And then, of course, because the neighbors would want their own fair share of the water, they would add another water tank in here. So in here you'd have some sort of water pump and then like a pipe and then here maybe some sort of water pump and some sort of a pipe. Okay. So this means that I'm gonna be doing, you guessed it, a water pump. But for now, let's isolate this. Let's rotate it back so we can just move things along the axes. It's much easier than trying to move things when they're slanted. And let's make some difference in shapes just because of the design. It looks better in design. It might be the same capacity of water, just a different shape. Maybe this guy found this already finished, like second hand. Somebody's selling their water tanks and they got it on a good price. I'm not talking from personal experience. Okay, so this is one, this is two, this is cool. I think I'm gonna be adding another one here. I'm sorry, I jump between stuff. But that's how my brain function actually. I'm trying to do these things. Just thinking about it. Is it nice to have two? Yeah, it is. Actually, it's very nice to have two. Alright, so scale on the X by something. Then move it here. Tab, not tab, T, Shift, Control tab, go to sculpt mode. Adjust it a little bit till we match the hanging wire. Then the smart thing to do is to mask the upper part. So let's go for a box mask. Let's mask this. Let's mask this. Okay, so I think maybe this is from the extras. Nope, from the origins, from the curse. So why isn't the masking showing? Not sure at all. Why isn't the masking showing? Okay, now it shows. No clue what was happening. Is it Control Paint to remove some of the mask? Yep. And now, let's first bring the pose brush. Nope, not the pose brush. Let's bring the cloth filter, expand a bit. Nope. Let's do a pinch. Let's do gravity first, actually, on the Z axis. Yeah, and then let's do pinch on the X axis. I wish that there is some sort of a internal collision. So instead of I'm gonna do world, let's go to smooth things a bit. And let's go back to boundaries actually. Let's try to just go crazy with this thing. Nope. Let's go back to the pose brush. The pose brush is the one that's behaving the best, I think. But it's still... I just want to go down. It's not happening. Let's see if the cloth brush will do something different. It's weird that the cloth brush is the one that's the weirdest and the hardest to use. Anyway, that's just fine. It's okay. My back's hurting. Alright, I think 1 hour and a half is more than enough for all of this. So next time, I think we're gonna be focusing on the shops. And we still have the water tanks, we still have like the new type of antennas, we're gonna add more. We need a lot more water tanks in here. Then we have a lot of the details of the AC compressors to include. And like I said, there's a lot of wiring, a lot of cabling. Of course, the wiring. There should be like a million wires up and down, then tubing, then like water pipes. There are stuff that needs to show. And that's it. I think we're gonna continue later. Thank you very much.